Men start missing you the most when psychology facts. Ever wonder when men start missing you the most? Spoiler alert, it's not always when you expect it. Relationships are tricky, filled with moments that can trigger deep emotions, often when things are least expected. Men, just like women, experience emotional highs and lows, and certain events or realizations can bring back waves of longing. Sometimes it's hearing about something you've accomplished. Other times, it's seeing someone else who just doesn't compare. Today, we're diving into the psychology behind why men miss you the most, and it's all based on real psychological research and behavioral science. So let's explore the moments that pull them back emotionally. 1. He misses you when he hears about your success. Success doesn't just change your life, it can change how someone sees you, even after a relationship has ended. When a man hears about your accomplishments, like landing a promotion or pursuing a passion that turns into success, it often triggers an emotional response. Why? It's not just admiration for what you've achieved. It also stirs up feelings of nostalgia and reflection on what he's lost. There's a natural inclination for men to wonder, what if I were still part of her life? This thinking process can result in a stronger emotional connection, since it causes him to consider his involvement in the past and what could have been. Psychologically speaking, your success may also challenge his sense of self-worth, especially in cases where he might feel like he hasn't progressed in the same way, or if he was used to being in a dominant position in the relationship. Hearing about your growth can spark feelings of regret or longing. There's a term in psychology called upward comparison. This is when people compare themselves to someone they perceive as doing better, and it often leads to mixed emotions like admiration tinged with a bit of insecurity. For example, imagine you've just received a promotion or recognition for something you're passionate about, and he hears about it through mutual friends or social media. In that moment, he might not just feel proud of you. He could also begin to miss the way you used to share those moments of achievement together. The admiration and sense of nostalgia can reignite feelings, making him miss you even more. 2. He compares others to you. Men often find themselves comparing their current partner or date to someone from their past, especially if the emotional connection they once shared was strong. This comparison can be subtle at first, but over time it becomes more apparent. When a man feels that no one else quite measures up to the emotional bond, shared experiences, or even the simple daily interactions he had with you, that's when the longing starts to take hold. Psychologically, this is a form of emotional benchmarking. People tend to remember moments in past relationships that made them feel valued, seen, or understood. If the new person in their life doesn't match up, it can lead to disappointment. This disappointment can make them appreciate and miss what they had with you even more. The comparison may begin with small things, perhaps your unique sense of humor, the way you used to support him during tough times, or even how well you communicated. For instance, while out on a date with someone new, he might notice that the conversation doesn't flow as effortlessly, or maybe there isn't the same level of comfort. Subconsciously, he's comparing this new person to you, and those comparisons often lead to memories that make him miss you. It's not about someone being better or worse, but about the emotional void that someone else just can't fill. This is often when he realizes that what you two shared was something special, making him long for you even more. 3. He experiences loneliness. Loneliness is one of the most powerful triggers for missing someone. When men experience periods of loneliness, whether it's after a breakup or during extended times of solitude, they naturally begin to reflect on their past relationships. This isn't just about missing companionship. It's about missing the emotional comfort and connection that they once had with you. During times of isolation, their thoughts can wander back to memories of when they felt supported, loved, or understood, and you're often at the center of those memories. Psychologically, loneliness intensifies feelings of longing. Research has shown that people often seek solace in familiar emotional connections when they're feeling isolated. This is because when people are alone, their brains naturally reflect on past relationships as a source of comfort, even if those relationships didn't end perfectly. The desire to reconnect with something familiar becomes stronger when they don't have someone else to fill that emotional void. For example, he might find himself coming home to an empty apartment after a long day and feel a wave of sadness that wasn't there before. It's during those quiet moments, when he doesn't have distractions, that his mind starts to wander, and memories of you come flooding back. He might miss the way you used to listen to him, or how you were simply there. Loneliness, in this way, becomes the perfect breeding ground for thoughts of you to resurface, making him realize just how much he misses the connection you once shared. 4. He experiences routine changes. Routines have a significant impact on our emotional lives. When a man's daily or weekly routine shifts unexpectedly, it often makes him aware of the absence of someone who used to be part of that routine. Even small, seemingly inconsequential changes, like no longer receiving a daily text from you or not having you around for weekend activities, can create a void that amplifies feelings of loss. Routine is comforting, and when a relationship ends, it's often the routine that people miss the most. For instance, if he's used to spending weekends with you, going to your favorite coffee shop, or even watching a TV series together, the sudden absence of those activities can be jarring. This shift can trigger memories of the time you spent together and make him long for those moments again. Imagine a Saturday morning when he used to meet you for breakfast and now he finds himself alone. Even if he's out with friends or trying to fill that time with new hobbies, the emotional connection tied to those past routines can linger. The empty space in his routine becomes a reminder of your presence and the bond you shared, making him miss you more with each passing moment. 5. He sees happy couples. It's incredibly common for men to reflect on past relationships when they see happy couples around them. Whether he's walking through a park, attending a wedding, or scrolling through social media, seeing couples enjoying romantic moments can stir up emotions. This often triggers memories of his own past relationship with you, especially if those moments used to bring him happiness and fulfillment. Psychologically, seeing others in love can remind him of what he once had, and if that relationship was particularly meaningful, it may cause him to reflect on why things ended. It's in these moments that he might begin to wonder if he made the right choice in letting you go, or if he could ever replicate that same happiness with someone else. For instance, imagine he's out with friends and sees a couple holding hands or laughing together. These small gestures can remind him of similar moments he shared with you. Even if he's moved on or is dating someone new, the comparison to your relationship can make him nostalgic for the emotional connection you both had, making him miss you all the more. 6. He realizes his mistakes. Time has a way of providing perspective, and often men reflect on their own mistakes after the dust has settled. When emotions are high, it's easy to overlook personal accountability, but as time passes and the intensity of the breakup fades, he may start to realize the role he played in the relationship's downfall. This self-reflection often leads to regret, as he begins to see the consequences of his actions, such as losing someone he genuinely cared about. From a psychological perspective, this realization often comes when men are no longer in denial about the breakup and have had time to process their feelings. They might reflect on specific moments where they could have acted differently, treated you better, or made different choices that might have saved the relationship. Well, there you have it. If you found this interesting, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below with your experiences or thoughts. Thanks for watching.